A very recent case that has grabbed the social media space talks about this man, who has a 34-year-old man who has committed suicide, Atul Subhash. And he brings up his tryst with the courts, with the matrimonial case, and what he went through. While I don't know what's the truth, what's not, we only know the version from a dying declaration that this man has given. But it does throw up the light on the issue of what happens in the lower courts.
Yes.
As the former Chief Justice of India, you must have read about this case. What do you think about this case and the issue of the crying need for judicial reform?
I agree with you when you began by saying that honestly we don't know the truth of what happened. You have on the one hand the suicide note which has been widely reported in the media. You also have the complaint by the wife which has also been reported in the media. And, particularly when human relations are involved, as in the case of a spousal conflict, it's very difficult for us sitting, in the course of a platform like this to actually deduce as to what happened between them at that particular point of time. Very often in personal relationships, including spousal relationships, the conflict is not between right and wrong. It's a conflict sometimes between right and right. It's sometimes a conflict between wrong and wrong. And that's perhaps, reflective of what happens in the court very often. I'm not talking about this particular case because, I don't want to be even remotely saying that, one of them was at fault and the other wasn't. We just don't have the relevant facts, which would be deduced on the basis of evidence. But what is of concern to me, and I share your concern, is that particularly in the context of family law, our society is undergoing this huge flux. More and more young people are extraordinarily mobile socially, economically. Women are up in the employment space, in the workplace. Marriage is under stress because spouses live in two different parts of the country or two different parts of the world. Now, this is putting tremendous stress on the family as a unit in our society. And I don't think that our judicial system today is equipped to deal with these issues of family conflict. Yeah, we have our laws. We have the family law. We have our personal laws. We have the Hindu code. We have the other laws governing other communities. But, our model for resolution of family disputes is a purely adversarial model, which is just not appropriate for resolving family disputes. Once spouses get into a matrimonial discord, I've seen that happen repeatedly. The longer it takes to resolve their disputes, the worse it becomes. Because then they start washing all the dirty linen, they tend to rope in each other's relatives, and then there's a point of no return which is reached for spouses. We have to really completely alter the structure of judicial decision-making, particularly in the context of family law. And we have to move away from a fault-based theory into a more mediative approach to resolving family disputes. But that's, of course, a very serious issue which has to be debated upon. But I believe that, our family law today has to be completely reworked in terms of its procedural underpinnings. We have to have a completely different approach from the court system to resolve family disputes. Otherwise, I've seen young couples getting into a dispute when they were 23 and 24, and they are fighting until they are 40 years old, sometimes 50. I even had a matrimonial dispute in a Parsi matrimonial case when I was a judge of the Bombay High Court, when the disputing parties were in their late 80s. And you can imagine, lives are destroyed. So we need to completely alter the structure of the Indian judicial system, particularly in the context of family disputes.